Have you ever looked at your fluffy little house cat and wondered about its ancestors? Where did this tiny tiger come from? Believe it or not, the story of cats is a sprawling, globe-trotting epic, filled with surprising twists and incredible tales of survival. Today, we're diving deep into the history of not one, but 5 extraordinary cat families that shape the world we live in. Forget what you think you know, because this is the secret history of cats. Our journey begins not with a house cat, but with a hunter of the ancient world. Picture the dense forests of Europe and Asia, tens of thousands of years ago. Here, a formidable predator reigned, the European wildcat. This isn't your cuddly tabby. This cat was a master of survival, a solitary, fierce hunter perfectly adapted to the wild. With a thicker coat and a robust build, it thrived in harsh climates, preying on rodents and birds. It was the undisputed king of its territory, a symbol of untamed nature. For millennia, this wildcat and early humans shared the landscape, but they kept a wary distance. One was a hunter of the day, the other a shadow of the night. This fragile balance was the very first chapter in the long, complex relationship between humans and felines. Now, let's travel south, to the sun-drenched lands of the Near East and the fertile banks of the Nile River. A different kind of wildcat roamed here, the African wildcat. Sleeker and more adapted to arid environments, this cat was about to make a decision that would change the course of history forever. As humans began to settle down, building the first agricultural communities, they had a problem: mice and rats devouring their precious grain stores. And who loves a good mouse hunt? The African wildcat. Drawn by this easy buffet, these cats started cautiously approaching human settlements. They weren't pets yet. This was a partnership of convenience. The cats got a reliable food source, and humans got the world's most efficient pest control. It was a win-win, a silent agreement that marked the very beginning of cat domestication. This clever cat didn't just wander into our lives, it walked in with a purpose, laying the groundwork for the feline companions we know and love today. From the granaries of Egypt, our story sets sail. As civilizations grew and trade routes expanded, our newly semi-domesticated cats became essential crew members. Phoenician, Greek, and Roman sailors wouldn't leave port without them. Why? Because ships were wooden treasure troves of ropes, sails, and food supplies, a paradise for rats. A rat infestation could gnaw through ropes, spoil food, and spread disease, spelling disaster for the entire crew. So, the ship's cat was born. These feline sailors were more than just pest control. They were cherished companions on long, lonely voyages, symbols of good luck. They were the unsung heroes of maritime exploration, bravely crossing oceans and seas. And with every port they docked at, these seafaring felines introduced their genes to local cat populations, spreading the domesticated cat across the entire European continent and beyond. They were the furry pioneers, the feline explorers who literally put cats on the map. Back on land, as Europe entered the Middle Ages, the cat's reputation took a dramatic and dark turn. What was once a revered hunter and helpful companion became shrouded in suspicion and fear. During an era of widespread superstition, the cat, especially the black cat, became unfairly associated with witchcraft and dark magic. Their nocturnal habits, silent movements, and glowing eyes were seen as sinister, not stealthy. This was a tragic time for our feline friends. Many were persecuted, their populations dwindling in some areas. But even in these dark times, cats proved their resilience. They continued to live in the shadows, on farms and in alleys, quietly doing what they do best: surviving. This period of misunderstanding highlights a painful chapter in our shared history, but it also showcases the cat's incredible ability to endure, proving that even in the face of fear, their spirit could not be broken. But let's jump forward to a much happier time, the 19th century. During the Victorian era in England, something wonderful happened. Cats went from being mere workers to cherished members of the family. The middle class was growing, and for the first time, people had the leisure and resources to keep animals for pure companionship. The cat, with its independent yet affectionate nature, was the perfect fit for the cozy Victorian home. This is when the idea of cat breeds truly took off. People began to selectively breed cats for specific appearances: long fur, unique colors, and distinct patterns. The very first cat show was held in London in 1871, and it was a massive sensation. Suddenly, cats were not just mousers, they were living works of art, status symbols, and beloved pets. This was the birth of the modern cat fancy movement that celebrated the beauty and diversity of cats and forever cemented their place not just in our homes, but in our hearts. From the wild forests to the sailor's ship, from the dark alleys to the velvet cushion, the cat's journey is a testament to its remarkable adaptability. So, how did we get from these distinct families to the vast array of cats we see today? The answer lies in centuries of intermingling. The ship's cats, descendants of the Egyptian feline, spread their genes far and wide, mixing with the native European wildcats. This created a rich and diverse genetic tapestry across the continent. Then, as the age of exploration continued, these European cats traveled to the Americas, Asia, and Australia, again mixing with local felines and adapting to new environments. Think of it like a global family reunion that has been going on for thousands of years. The Maine Coon from America, with its shaggy coat, may have ancestry tracing back to the tough ship's cats that braved the cold Atlantic. The sleek Siamese, with its striking color points, developed its unique look in the warm climate of Thailand. Every single domestic cat today, whether it's a pedigreed show cat or a mixed-breed stray, carries a piece of this incredible history within its DNA. They are a living mosaic of all the families that came before them, a blend of the wild hunter, the clever partner, the brave sailor, the resilient survivor, and the cherished companion. Looking at your cat napping in a sunbeam, it's amazing to think about the epic journey encoded in its genes. It carries the legacy of the wildcat that hunted in ancient forests, the ingenuity of the African cat that first approached a human settlement, the adventurous spirit of the ship's cat that crossed the world's oceans, the resilience of the cat that survived the Dark Ages, and the charm of the Victorian pet that first captured our hearts. Our relationship with cats has evolved dramatically, from a partnership of mutual benefit to one of deep emotional connection. They are our confidants, our entertainers, and a calming presence in our often chaotic lives. The history of these 5 cat families isn't just about them, it's about us too. It's a story of how the species learn to coexist, to rely on each other, and ultimately, to form a bond that spans millennia and continents. So next time your cat brings you a gift or curls up on your lap, remember the incredible journey that led it there. You're not just petting a cat, you're connecting with a living piece of history. Thank you so much for joining us on this historical journey through the world of cats. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. We'd love to hear about your own cat's family story in the comments below. Until next time, give your furry friend an extra pat from us.